Hi everybody, it's Honest John. Now, Grover Norquist is not God. But you never know that if you listen to the Republicans. Their oath of office is less important to them than their pledge to Grover Norquist. People have called him the most powerful man in America who has never been elected. He's a rich kid, was born into money, never worked an honest day in his life. Founded Americans for Tax Reform, which pays him about $200,000 a year. What is less well known is that Americans for Tax Reform bank accounts were used to funnel illegal campaign contributions to the Republicans and helped Bush and the Republicans come into power. Naturally, they were never prosecuted for that because they got the guys in power that were then running the government. They weren't going to prosecute him. Y'all remember that during the Bush administration, the Justice Department was not interested in justice. It was on its way to becoming a criminal organization. But his illegal activities started a long time before that. Way back in the Reagan administration, he was involved with Oliver North, funding the Contras. That was illegal. How he's managed to stay out of jail, I'll never know. He helped establish the K Street Project, which was to basically get the lobbyists all to contribute to Republicans and not to Democrats. As you remember, that's what landed Tom DeLay and Jack Abramoff in jail, was the K Street Project. Another criminal activity Grover Norquist was involved in. One thing he did that wasn't illegal was he helped draw up the Bush tax cuts. And we all know how well they've worked. So basically, Grover Norquist is responsible for a large amount of American debt. But he's not man enough to admit it. He's not man enough to pay for it. He's holding the Republicans hostage to prevent them from raising his taxes to help pay for the debt he helped create. But what's really interesting about Grover Norquist are his ties to terrorism. He is a close friend of Sami al-Arian and Abdurrahman al-Moody. You can look up the names yourself. Both of whom have been convicted of activities related to terrorism. You know, it's interesting that conservatives always wrap themselves up in the flag and pretend to be patriots. But now we know that their main spokes organ, Fox News, has ties to terrorism. And now we know that the guy that they signed pledges to is involved with terrorists. Maybe that's why conservatives find it so easy to betray America. Dick Cheney, Scooter Libby, and Karl Rove betrayed this country. They outed an American spy during wartime. That's treason. Maybe that's why conservatives, since they've gotten back in control of the House, have done everything they could to sabotage the economy. Right? Every bill, every jobs bill that Democrats have tried to push through, the Republicans, when they were in the minority, they filibustered it. Now that they're in the majority, they just won't let it come to the House floor. Maybe that's why conservatives have manufactured a crisis that may bring down the economy. And this is a manufactured crisis, this whole debt limit thing. This is not a real crisis. It's a manufactured crisis. And one of the things that it's doing is keeping the economy down. That's the whole point of it. Now, I don't know if they're willing to go that far. But I wouldn't be surprised if they did. Because maybe their loyalties aren't really to this country. Maybe we should have an investigation and find out what other conservatives are involved with terrorists. What other conservatives are plotting the downfall of America? Thanks for listening.